So I'm just wrapping up the finishing touches on my installation of the EP800 from Bluetti. I did have a lot of questions about the installation that maybe I didn't understand completely. So Bluetti did take me out to CES 2022 to help explain it in person. I did my best to record it. I'm not a good interviewer, I don't think, but this is what I came up with. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to finish this installation up and then we'll check back. All right, so I got Brian over here with Bluetti, and he's going to try to explain the EP800 a little bit better than I have, and any options or anything that maybe I didn't explain very well. So we're at CES 2024, and I'm kind of excited to be here, and I'm excited to hear from Brian. What do you got for me?
EP800 was released at RE Plus in September.
How's the rollout been going?
Excellent. We had a lot of orders. I would say the majority of those we have been directly shipping those to the customers.
Okay.
They are finding their own installers. Any installers that they cannot, if they need help with that, they contact us and we find a certified installer for them.
All right. Now, have you been maybe putting together a list of electricians or installers in different regions that you're working with now? Or are you open up to making a list of those installers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have been talking to electricians, installers, we call solar EPCs, you know, the typical solar company that will install your solar. We are talking to anyone and everyone about it. We've gotten a lot of interest from electricians that install generators.
Right.
Especially
backup generators.
like whole home generators.
Right.
This is a much quicker, easier way for them to have that backup power without getting like a plumbing permit, you know, electrical permit. Getting a backup generator usually takes, you know, several weeks of planning, permitting, but still then you maybe have to do a lot of plumbing, trenching, some concrete work, electrical work, of course, permits. So when you add up the cost of the material, the labor, the permits, our unit actually ends up being a little cheaper.
Okay. Now, I know what a lot of people will say is that it's not sunny every day. And sometimes it's not sunny for a week. So what would you be your recommendations for sizing a solar system for this EP800 or the 900, right? Because it's kind of like sister systems, right? One's 8,000 watt, the other one's 9,000 watts. One's more DIY, the EP800, the other one's more professional installation of the EP900, right?
They're extremely similar.
Right. So if you have a 9,000 watt or 8,000 watt system, you wouldn't want to just pair it with an 8,000 watt array. What would your recommendation be?
It's a good question. So if you're pairing or you're sizing a solar array to the EP800 or 900, it has to be of a certain amount. Okay. You're not going to just put, you know, 3 or 4 panels on your roof and call it a day.
Right.
You really need to have, you know, I would say, you know, 6 to 12, maybe, you know, up to about 30 panels, depending on, you know, where they're placed. You know, we've got 2 MPP.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. I was curious about, you have the 2 MPP charge controllers. It's for a total of, I want to say 9,000 watt total, but it's like 7,000 watts, 2,000 watts split up. What's the benefit to that? I mean,
usually roofs, you're not going to put all the panels facing the same direction. You might have one facing east, one facing west, some facing south. Just depending on where you're at. So each one can track differently based on, you know, where the sun's at.
All right, well that makes a lot more sense because yeah, I'm lucky. My southern roof exposure was more than enough for my entire array. I didn't have to separate it to an east side or west side. So yeah, it makes sense. The western or eastern facing roof that's going to get the majority of sunlight, maybe the other one will get some. I could see 7,000 watt for the majority one and 2,000 watt. All right, so that way it wouldn't downgrade to the side getting the less amount of sunlight, right?
Yeah, and a pro tip for anyone that's installing these or designing a solar system, sometimes south isn't always best. But if you're a homeowner and you need to use the power, and you know, charge your battery or export, well, do you use more power in the morning or do you use more power in the afternoon? Do you have off-peak and on-peak times? Usually those on-peak times are going to be, you know, in the evening.
Right.
So it might make more sense to have a small array facing east and a larger array facing west.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah. I can see that.
Flatten that duck curve, that bell curve.
All right. The other big complaint everybody always has is obviously batteries. They go bad, so you have to replace them after a year or two, right?
Well, not these batteries.
Not these batteries.
No, no.
The other question, I don't know if you're comfortable answering or not, but I will ask because I know a lot of people will say there's a lot of solar generators on the market. The market keeps getting flooded with more and more of them. A lot of different systems out there. It's somewhat dubious because they can't all be standalone companies, and some of them have to be either clones or poor quality. Bluetti is a standalone company, right?
Absolutely.
It's designed its own. I've met the engineers. I've met some of the designers. They're very proud of the system. This isn't just an off-the-shelf. You throw it in a different case and you're calling it Bluetti.
Correct.
Okay.
We have our own factories.
You are making your own
creating
right.
everything but the actual cell itself. Right. We are in-house designing it. We have over 400 patents on the design, the artificial intelligence for the BMS, which is something that you're not going to get in the DIY system. All right, the battery isn't necessarily going to tell all the information to the PCS inside your inverter.
Right.
So we are the brand. Our founder, so he had the factories. He was doing the OEM stuff. People were coming to him and his partners saying, "Hey, we want you to make this for our company." And they're, just like any good business person, they're going to say, "Hey, can you make it cheaper? Can you make it cheaper? Can you make it cheaper?" Well, you got to start cutting corners.
Right.
Right. He wanted to design something where I don't have to cut corners. In fact, I want to make the corners bigger.
I want to make a good product.
And they say, "Well, hey, do what we told you." So he decided to, and with his partners, say, "Hey, I think we should create our own brand." 2012, he creates a research and development arm, and from that engineering, what I'm basically trying to say is this company starts as an engineering.
So it's not like there's just a sticker that says Bluetti that you put on somebody else's box. This is yours from the ground up, designed, engineered, and built by Bluetti.
Absolutely.
All right. It's good to hear. I'm very interested to see your take on the EP800 down below and see your display down there.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Brian, I'll see you there. All right, Brian, so you got me down here at your display here, right?
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful display here at CES. It's one of the two-story ones right here. It was easy to find. I see the EP800 set up over there, right?
That's the 900, and
right
next to it is the 800 with two batteries.
You're from Texas, I'm from Arizona. Everybody's going to ask, is this going to overheat in my garage, baking in the sun during the summer?
Well, does your garage get over 130?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, yeah, then you'll be fine.
Unlike some manufacturers, there's no active cooling, no leaks you have to worry about.
Right. Yes. Yeah, no green or blue liquid in there.
Correct. But in Texas heat, Arizona heat, even California heat, in the garage, out of the shade, you haven't had any issues with it. The fan's been very quiet when it has been running. I don't know if it's a multi or variable speed fan, so it kicks up to a higher speed. I know my inverter gets quite loud in the middle of summer, but this has been very quiet compared to what my inverter does when that fan turns on.
The fans that we use are actually just on the DC side.
Okay.
They are the same kind of fans that you're going to put in a computer.
Mm-hmm.
They're easily replaceable. Well, you don't need to send back the whole unit. You just have your service technician unplug it. There's a little grill. You're going to remove that and just like a normal PC fan, you plug them in.
4 screws, all good.
Yep, you're all good. So the biggest concern I get when I'm talking to customers is, hey, I'm up in Michigan, I'm in Canada.
All right, yeah.
It's negative 40 here. Will this work? Yes. And it's really intelligent. Lithium iron phosphate really hates the cold.
Yes.
They don't mind the heat, but the cold, they're not happy. This will charge at just about 0 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
It's very low.
Okay.
So it'll work and charge at very low temperatures because it's self-heating.
All right. Since I'm hooked up to an on-grid solar that's not even going through the EP800, I can charge or have a 110 pass-through from the on-grid. But if I were to set up temporary solar array, right, I could still utilize that MPT charge controller without using my roof solar, have the roof solar making solar power that's backfeeding to the grid, making me money basically, or paying for my electricity, and then my other solar array would be completely standalone, has nothing to do with the grid whatsoever, going straight to the EP800, charging those batteries up. I never have to use the on-grid solar and electric grid to power up the house at all.
Yes and no. So let me preface that a little bit. This is really meant for rooftop rigid panels,
Okay.
not necessarily our portable panels. I'm not saying you could connect portable panels, but you would need to put them in series to get at least 150 volts.
That's good to know.
So if it's below 150 volts, it's going to throw an error saying you're below voltage.
But if I wanted to make a solar pergola or breezeway, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a little DIY project. It could be done, but you need to have 150 volts minimum and 500 volts maximum from that array.
Yes, and you can use simple off-the-shelf open source software to model. You put in the specs of the panels that you're using.
And that's open current.
Yeah, open current, open voltage.
Right. However you want to.
Yeah, you need to keep within the specs of your panel.
Okay, that's good to know. And then I did notice this is your communication module. You don't need any sort of standalone like smart home system to actually connect this to your home internet as an in-between. So this is all I have, and I can check the performance of the EP800 anywhere in the world as long as the internet at the house is working. So I don't have to have like a smart home relay system for this to talk to and be the in-between. It actually talks directly to the internet.
Absolutely, and you can disable that. I don't know why, but a lot of people ask me, hey, I don't want to let this thing even be on the internet. I only want to use the Bluetooth and communicate with it locally. I don't want anyone to be able to have any sort of internet access to my device. Okay, no problem.
Does this help with diagnostics or troubleshooting from Bluetti? Because obviously shipping this whole thing back for repair is not something anybody really wants to do.
We want to avoid that at all possible.
So Bluetti itself does have online diagnostics that you can give them the serial number and access to it. It's not like you guys are watching all the units at all the time. You would, as part of the troubleshooting, you would be able to get into there without authorization from the owner.
Correct. So now if you send us your serial number, then we'll know it. We'll have it linked to your account. It's the same account that you use for any of our devices. The portable, everything's one app. It's the Buetti app. That's what you're going to use to control it.
But you're not Big Brother watching anything that we're doing.
No. Right. But if you need a firmware update, it's very simple. It will let you know, hey, there's a firmware update. You need to do that through Bluetooth. Okay. You cannot do that through Wi-Fi. You have to physically be there locally. We also have a USB port on here. So
yeah, I saw that on the other side. Right.
If you want to update it through the USB, there is a way to do that.
The warranty on this is still
10 years?
10 years.
These batteries are really meant for the long haul. I will say, I know 10 years sounds like a long time, but if we're designing a system that is going to be 25 or 30 years, those are meant to be moved around. Lithium iron phosphate is used in automotive in China a lot. In other countries where they've decided lithium ion is just too dangerous to have on your house.
I was going to say, there's two questions I'm sure everybody really has for me. Is this going to be an uncontrollable fire in their garage?
No. These are very safe. If they do get punctured, they're inert. Right. So they're not going to catch fire.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to let me know about the EP800, EP900? Because I know you guys are kind of releasing it.
Absolutely.
Come here.
Bluetti Solar Plus. If you go to our website, we'll have at the very top, you'll see Solar Plus with a little green leaf. This is our internal, basically manufacturers help with designing your system. If you do not feel comfortable, this seems like, oh boy, this is a big project, I don't know if I can handle that. We are there to answer your questions 24/7. All of our customers have direct access to us through text messages. If you're taking photos, if you are talking to your installer, they're definitely going to want to talk to us. We can instantly communicate with them for troubleshooting, installation. We handle all that. If you want to see a design of how this is going to function with your current utility bills and all that, we have a service. Right now, in Texas, we'll actually pair you with an installer so that you can take advantage of solar loans, so you have flexible financing options. Basically have peace of mind that from start to finish, Bluetti is not only your manufacturer, but we are handling the whole customer experience. We are using very simple virtual appointments. They take about 15 or 30 minutes. We ask you a few simple questions. We do the design together. We show you the the amount of savings, what that financially is going to look like over 30 years. We use AI technology, all right? So many people that go solar regret some of the misinformation that they've gotten, and now they have to live with a 25, 30-year purchase. We want to avoid that as much as possible.
So no hard sells.
No hard sells. We're not like you got a book there with a playbook of, well, did I use this close or that close or this Jedi mind trick to kind of get you to do something that doesn't make sense for you. We're going to see if it makes sense for you, and we'll be very honest if it doesn't.
Is there going to be a waiting list for like 2 years waiting for you to get your system like some people might have?
Oh, no, absolutely. We have several warehouses around the United States. We have a main one on the West Coast, a main one on the East Coast. So if you live in the New York area, you should receive it after ordering it within 1 or 2 business days. But very much that's true for the whole United States.
Okay.
Maybe in the middle, it might take an extra day.
Competent and ready, technical support and assistant.
Yeah,
you won't be waiting for emails for 2 or 3 weeks to hear back from people.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you do order one of these online, I would like to personally talk to you and make sure that you understand exactly what you're getting. We don't just ship these out as soon as we get the order. We take the order, we process the payment, and we will get in touch with you. We do not want to ship these out until we hear directly in person on a phone call, maybe email. The only time I've ever had an email, someone was at sea.
Okay.
And they'd ordered it and say,
so
hey,
you prefer phone calls.
Well, they'll say, hey, can you wait? Can you hold it? I'll be back in January. Can you schedule my shipment to come in a month or 2? We're building a new house. It's up here, but that price is really good. And while I lock in that price, can you just hold on for it for a month or 2? So that we're not shipping it to your house and then you're installing it hundreds of miles away. We want to ship it directly to where it's being used.
All right. Well, I really appreciate all your time, Brian.
Thank you so much.
I threw a lot of questions at you. I appreciate you taking the time to answer them all. Enjoy the rest of CES here, 2024. This is my first try here, and you made it very enjoyable. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Have a good day.
Bye. Well, I hope you guys found that enjoyable. It was a fun experience to go up to CES, even though it was very, very cold when I got up there. I can't wait to show you guys the installation of the EP800. It was not a huge ordeal, but I did have to bring an electrician in to help me out because obviously we're doing electrical work on a house. But as you can see, it is all installed now. Looks like I have a spaceship in my garage. Hopefully I'll have that video coming out fairly shortly. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye. Okay, I'm testing on this one. And then I'm testing on this one. Does that work? I don't know. Does that sound okay? I'm not framed very well. I need to move the camera back some. But let me go ahead and stop this. All right, this is another test. I hope it's going to work. And
all right. Oh, I like that tripod. Nice and sleek.
I've just upgraded to a microphone, and that's the first time I've used this tripod, so I don't know how to do it. Yeah.
Am I wearing that?
Yeah.
All right.